And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with another day of Dota 2 Asia Championship action. This is your European qualifier. It's finally time for another elimination match. This one, Na'Vi versus Empire, best of 3. The team that loses goes home. They don't go to the mini international being held in China later this month and into February. They'll fall short of the big prize, over $1.5 million and rising rapidly. With that all said, I'm LDB on the summit, and I'm joined here today by Coddle Guy. Dakota, are you hype?
I'm hype. I'm ready. No way better to start your Dota day than a breakfast full of European DAC qualifier action here. And, well, Na'Vi versus Team Empire. What can you say? These two teams last met on Christmas Eve, December 24th, and Empire did win that exchange. It was in Star Ladder Season 11. But we were talking yesterday about teams who have like a long history of playing each other. Well, these two teams, man, 72 matches they've gone together in franchise history, and Na'Vi has bested Empire in the long run. 44 victories over Empire's 28. But as of recent, Na'Vi have not been the same. So we'll have to see how they can match up now against the new improved Empire team, which have been like, what? They've had 22 wins out of the last 24 games. It's been absolutely ridiculous.
They did fall short yesterday, though. That was the big upset for Empire. They came into this tournament, I think, in most people's eyes, as if not the favorites, then in that top 2-3 list with VP Polar, Empire. Some would have, I would have put Hellraisers on the same level. Some would have not. The new alliance we didn't know much about, but here we are, game one of a best of 3 elimination match, and there's just so much history between these teams. Like, you go back to when Funnick was the star player in Europe, when I don't know if it was the original Empire, but their first really dominant incarnation was playing a lot of safe lane Clinks. I remember a game where he played safe lane Clinks, he won versus a Darkseer, then he played offlane Darkseer, and he beat the Clinks, so he won the matchup on both sides. That's how good this guy was before Na'Vi brought him in, and, well, there's Na'Vi historically, they have poached a few Empire players here and there, and even if they don't actively poach them, you know they have their eyes on them, so, you know, someone like Resolution, AlohaDance has looked sensational on support lately. alwayswannafly, of course, with some really good movements of his own. So yeah, keep it in mind. If Na'Vi doesn't end up doing well, then they may just end up offering these Empire players a bunch of money, and this Empire team may not last much longer.
Yeah, but we'll see how it rolls out here. Draft now, the early makings underway here. Na'Vi, of course, going to do their tried and true Wisp ban to lead things out, then Brew, and getting rid of the respected Drow. On Empire, they ban out that Puck, the Lycan, and the Tidehunter. Interesting enough, because they both play a dominant Puck and Tidehunter on their own side, but they take their first pick and they use it on an ancient apparition, which is a bit peculiar, grabbing a support like this so early on, when it could be more of like a niche pick going against teams that have heavy sustain. But they do have a great history with the hero. They're currently 3-0, in 6.83. But I'm more peculiar about the Wind Ranger grab second. This is very interesting. This new hero, it's got the long-ass power shot, almost a sniper in her own right. I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do with her. And on the side of Na'Vi, they pick up the old classic Vengeful Spirit, and then the Troll Warlord, which yesterday Havost pulled out one of the classic 4 moments. He took on Team Tinker, pretty much 4 versus 1, and absolutely dominated him.
Yeah, the Wind Ranger pick is very interesting. You mentioned she's been improved quite a bit in the latest patch, and still has kind of one of those heroes teams are experimenting with. They haven't really found the dominant way to use her, but I will say we saw G dominate with this hero before the changes at Star Ladder really hard. Still almost didn't end up carrying versus the Execration Pinoy team that was there, and that the hero felt very weak then. It has been buffed in this patch, and the one player who really wrecked face with it, Dakota, was actually TC in the America qualifier. He had I want to say 9 or 10 blink 2 hero shackles. Void would get a chrono, then promptly get shackled to a teammate. It was unbelievable. So with that in mind, it's mostly been core Wind Rangers. Haven't really seen any support, so if we take that line of thinking to its conclusion, then expect to see Resolution on it mid, which means they'll be looking for a support hero here. Still Silence Carry out there, and I mean, the guy plays everything, so they may leave that for the final pick. And the AlohaDance Rubik, if they want it, it's out there.
Yeah, oh man, they love that hero. Rubik, they've been rolling as of recently in 6.83, 7 games, 5-2 record, but before that, it's like 13-game victory almost straight. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, Wind Ranger more than likely going to be a core position. I know I've heard from a couple of pro players that she's just a little too unreliable as a support. Her shackle shot isn't always a guarantee. Not really much you can do with Wind Run except survive as a support, and Power Shot can be fantastic, don't get me wrong, especially with the new range. You can block camps pretty significantly. I've gone against a Wind Ranger who on the dire side in the offlane position would be able to block both camps, including the small pull one, just from the rune spot alone, just to give you an idea how crazy long that shot can be. So I'm really interested to see if Empire have something in their back pocket they want to do with this hero. In such an important series where it's elimination, it's got to be something good. On the other side, though, Faceless Void, a hero that we didn't really see at any yesterday in those matchups, but he's going to be pulled out here. Very nice. I'm assuming it's going to be the Funny Classic.
We have seen this before. I believe it was Hellraisers who ran something similar with the Troll. I forget if it was a Void or another hero who had Bash. But basically, when teams pick Troll, and with the Venge especially, they tend to favor right-click, which is where you get someone who has an innate Bash, or someone that just really benefits from attack speed. Ranged heroes can also work for that, just for sieging buildings. Wind Ranger's good against that. You have Wind Run now, and the thing is, Chrono doesn't remove evasion anymore. So maybe that's the thought here from Empires. We get a Wind Ranger, and you're gonna pick a bunch of right click, and then she'll just pop Wind Run, and you just can't kill her very quickly. So that might be the idea. We'll see if it pans out, though. The Undying now snapped up by Empire. Very aggressive, and the one thing is with Undying that if the Tombstone's killed off quickly, the hero doesn't feel that effective later on in the game. And I will say Na'Vi are very good at killing the Tombstone with the Troll ultimate, with the Venjara, just heavy right click in general. So you pick the Undying here in your Empire, you look to shut Na'Vi down early before they start getting the Troll ult and some attack speed items out.
Yeah, my ridiculous pleb level of play, when you have an Undying in the game, most people just kind of cast that Tombstone aside and don't even care about it. Next thing you know, you're just swarmed with the Walking Dead. But in these kind of games, they know what the priorities are, and it's making sure they can get rid of that Tombstone. It's not like the olden days where you can simply pull out a glyph and have that Tombstone last so much longer. These days, it can be easily targeted and ripped apart. But hey, he works good against those heroes who are big and melee and want to get in the right click. They're going to be stuck kind of, okay, we got to go over and take care of this Tombstone, but at that same point, you're dealing with all these outside range heroes on the side of Empire that can do a lot of work in kiting him about. So we'll see. Na'Vi now pushing forward. Magnus going to be grabbed here. So not only now are you going to have opportunity where these right-click heroes can get in there and do heavy attack speed damage, now they have the benefit of the bonus damage and the cleave that Magnus gives to him. Imagine now a Faceless Void going in, setting up a Chrono. He gets the benefit of Troll Warlord's attack speed ultimate on the outside, plus an Empower. Anyone inside that bubble is going to have, well, a pretty hard day.
10 seconds.
Yes, and you run this big wombo combo lineup. One way to deal with it is just to get a second life. So Empire go for the Wraith King now. Also a very aggressive here in the laning stage. We were seeing a lot of the support Wraith King. You go back a few months, even around the TI4 era. Zai's Wraith King, I think he was 18-0 or something along those lines. I don't know if he's ever gone on to lose a game on the hero, but pretty much undefeated. We'll see if it works out, but the idea is clear. You want to pick all these big one-hit wonder ultimates. We're just going to have a second life to deal with it, and well, whether or not it works remains to be seen.
Agree with that, certainly. So now as we move into the final stretch of this draft, Na'Vi have banned out the Naga and the Razor. Empire, they got to get rid of the Storm Spirit, and now they know Na'Vi's going to be dipping into the support bank, so they get rid of Skywrath Mage, who they feel is a big support. It would work great against them, but of course with Faceless Void, it's just kind of inevitable, the old peanut butter and jelly classic. So someone else who's probably going to be able to contribute a lot from the outside. So looking at that, they have ran Jakiro a couple of times. Jakiro could be pretty versatile as far as being a core or a support, so he could add a lot from the outside. He's pretty beefy and tanky, and with Liquid Fire, you could kite about and make a lot of work there. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like a Jakiro, but the Lion is what is going to be grabbed. And to be honest, I probably should have expected that. They've been running a lot of Lion recently, even picking it up first. In recent history.
Lion feels a lot stronger in this patch. The two big things I would say is teams are getting a lot more boots first on their 4-position heroes and just kind of super sacking the 5. You buy the wards, the smoke, the courier, and have like basically no regen, which allows the Lions to get boots. And then the other thing is the base damage change. So now he right clicks quite a bit harder in the laning stage, better at zoning. It also gives you that Hex, which is a way to deal with the Wind Ranger evasion. So just kind of a well-rounded support pick here from Na'Vi. And the other thing I do like about notice they actually get some nuke damage, so they're not all in on right-clicking, and Empire are going to respond to this with something we don't see very often. It's the Outworld Devourer.
This guy used to be the original OG of Dota. You wouldn't go a game without seeing an Outworld Devourer, and then it was always like, okay, they got an Outworld, we're going to have to, you know, get a Razor or a Viper or something, and it was always just about that mid-lane matchup and how you're going to be able to deal with Outworld, or maybe just ban him outright, and then it'd be one of those big three. But we have not seen him at all in recent history. Unless he's like a nerf pick to like a Medusa or something, and you want to get an Agnes and just eliminate her mana pool, but here they feel like that maybe he's going to be the answer to what Na'Vi are bringing here. I'm always excited to hear back in action, and this is pretty much an Empire lineup of heroes that they have not ran as of recent, with the exception of AA. So I'm really intrigued by that. Na'Vi with those two supports, they have a wealth of stuns and lockdown. Expect them to move hard and early across the map, maybe looking to get some early gank action in there. I feel like it's going to be pretty high octane. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, this is going to be a hype one. This is an old school matchup, but with some new faces on both teams, and well, of course you've got I mentioned Funnick being poached, but of course who could forget about Vanskor as well. So you've got the Empire, the former Empire players. They moved on to what they thought were greener pastures, but now they have to prove it. And with that said, we get underway with game one of this best of three. It's an elimination showdown, and both teams are moving directly towards the enemy jungle. On the Na'Vi side, we've got Vanskor, the Vengeful Spirit, Funnick, the Faceless Void, that puts Dendi onto the Magnus. Often questioned as to whether or not it's his type of hero, but I have to say I've seen some really sick Dendi mags, so the chat was flaming. I don't think you should be, guys. The Havos troll, he went full Superman yesterday. I don't know if you saw that 1v4, but it prompted a little all chat from Dendi, who's normally pretty reserved. And of course, we round things out here with Vanskor of the Vengeful Spirit, and not sure if I mentioned it, but Funnick on the Faceless Void.
And Funnick could run into some trouble here, right into the Empire Squadron, all five, and what have I done? I have no face I cannot see, and he goes down. First blood happens before I can even get the introductions off. alwayswannafly picks that one up, and well, Empire, how you doing this morning? It's going to be Resolution on your Outward Devourer. Nearby we got yoky going to be playing what looks like the offlane Wind Ranger. We got AlohaDance playing your Undying, up going towards the top end side. We got Silent, who's going to be what looks like a core Wraith King, and then finally to round things out, alwayswannafly is going to be playing that AA.
Yeah, Chilling Touch just so good early on, and unfortunately, Funnick just not able to get off the Time Walk in time there. Just too much burst damage from Na'Vi, from Empire onto him. And with that said, it does allow Na'Vi to get into the enemy woods. They see that there's 5 heroes in their jungle. Empire make their beeline back to their woods, but they have managed to drop down a Sentry Ward here to block the pole camp, and as well as an Observer Ward to spot any potential rotations or just to control those runes. So Empire will end up with dual lanes. There'll be dual on try here in the bottom lane. Troll, Lion, Venge, pretty decent killing tri-lane, but Undying, Wind Rage are both very strong defensive heroes, so this particular lane won't be the easiest to get those early kills.
Now, how do you feel about this mid lane matchup? I don't know in recent times that we've had the opportunity to see the OD taking on the Magnus here. I feel like OD is going to have a hell of a time here. He'll be able to work with the range, the additional orb for the sustained right click, and then anytime he wants, he'll just be like, hey, Astral for you, sir. Now you're going to be that much dumber and you're going to have no mana to work with. I mean, how do you personally feel how it's going to go?
Here comes the wraparound, though. yoky, remember, he skilled Shackle Shot at level 1 to get that first blood, so he doesn't have a wind run to get out of here. Can they keep him alive? No, they can't, but the 2-hero Shackle comes out. Unfortunately, not really that scary at level 1. Well played by Na'Vi. They know the Shackle was already skilled up. It was used in that kill in the Void, and as a result, they're able to go and get a quick kill before he hits 2. But yeah, to go back to your point, this is a very good lane for OD. Resolution should wreck Dendi in this lane. He'll get his levels, which is of course important for Magnus, but he is not going to have an easy time CSing.
Yeah, you can already see it too. 7-5 CS to Dendi's 1-3. It's going to be a struggle, but as long as Dendi can kind of hang back here, I say that, and he's forced to hide behind his trees. Just getting the CS at least under the tower is something to start with there, so he'll make do with it. Bottom is probably we're going to see most of our action, that try on try, and you saw that second blood to go down. But top, dancing behind the tower already. Funnick here going toe-to-toe with Silent. He's not going to be too threatened here, not until the rotations come in. He can always time walk out in case things get a bit too hairy, but they're going to have a relatively even exchange as far as CS goes. Funnick is 8-2, while Silent is 6-2.
Yeah, of course the main thing to keep in mind is that Empire should dominate the laning stage. You pick OD, obviously the hero goes late, but you pick that hero and among other things, to win your lane pretty hard. So he's expected to win this lane. Na'Vi realized that they're not going to shut him down early. They look to make up for it elsewhere, and that's for having the big team fight, tons of physical damage, a lot of Roche potential. They can definitely come back, even should they fall behind early here. And even if they fall behind quite a bit, I would not count them out.
So our two newest Na'Vi members, those two supports, look at them go. We were expecting them to be on the rotation early, and they already popped that smoke, and they are beelining it towards this top lane. They got to make sure they can get this Wraith King down at all possible, especially before he has his level 6. And he is pretty deep right here. And he's even getting caught up kind of dancing here with Funnick. And Funnick's like, haha, don't you worry, boy. I got help coming on the way. And here they are. 2 sets of stun silent. What are you going to do? There's one Impale catching him out with a time walk forward. The CC of the Hex coming right there. And it is just easy peasy right there. Fantastic rotation, and with all the time invested from that long walk across the map, I'm really surprised Silent didn't hang back sooner. He should have known that they've been missing from the bottom lane, or at least it should have been communicated.
Yeah, even post up on the Void that much, if he gets lucky with a bash or two, he may have been able to solo kill the Wraith King there. So it was an aggressive move. The other thing I want to mention, Dakota, is yesterday when we saw Empire, they kept on running really good early roaming heroes for AlohaDance, and the thing that's really unfortunate about Undying is he's a great laner and he offers you a lot of team fights, but he's not the best roamer unless you get like a super lucky haste turn early and can just right click down a Crystal Maiden or something like that. But barring that type of rune, that hero just kind of sits in lane, gets levels, and looks to take fights later on, maybe keep a teammate alive. So because of that, Empire can't really put the pressure out that they're accustomed to laying out in front of their opponents, and I think it hurts them a bit here.
It was sure fun to watch Empire yesterday, though. They ran so much Wisp Tiny, especially through that first series, and pretty much almost every game, and then Bristleback was all the rage, and it was very, very action-packed. But this time, yeah, it's a different style coming out from Empire. We're seeing something like the OD does allow Resolution to have a dominating mid-lane performance, but even though you question how AlohaDance will be able to roam early, he is kind of dancing around here in this mid-lane, while Resolution continues to put the harassment here onto Dendi. And he's going to make that long rotation maybe all the way to the top just to kind of be maybe a bit of a babysitter. But they have made an audible call. They're making a move onto yoky, and they decide to maybe pull back. And, well, Goblak's like, I'm going to get something in. And he puts out the stun.
Yeah, throws out the stun, but with Funnick having already time walked, that's not a kill opportunity. So the Undying kind of playing like a Ghetto Abaddon role almost, or a Dazzle even, just roaming around to try and keep his dual lanes alive. But yeah, it's still a big departure from the pressure and offense we saw as of yesterday. They are farming well in the Wraith King, the OD early. The Wind Ranger, overall...
Bottom lane, LD, they're making it go into Havos, leading off with that Fire Blast, and alwayswannafly, of course, with that Chilling Touch is a lot of right-click.
He's got the stick here.
They're going deep. He pops that stick. He'll have about half life, and by that point, they've just gone a little too far. So they step back.
Meanwhile, in the mid, on to Resolution, Impale's going to come out. They have a Hex follow-up here. Dendi with the Skewer as well, and he will use it. Just a quick little pile drive. Ends the Outworld Devour, and with that, so much for your OD dominating mid. You give the Magnus a kill like that, and he's only 6 CS and 1 deny down. Dendi showing why many pros will say that they think he's one of the... Whatever his mid-game execution is, his laning is second to none, and 12 denies against an OD. That is incredible from him. They did have the supports missing earlier, which forces Resolution to play a bit more defensively when they made that move towards the top lane, but even so, that's still very impressive.
You could feel like Empire really want to get something done in this mid lane, but with the runes coming up now, you're going to see AlohaDance scout out the top. It's a bounty rune that's going to be snagged up right there from Dendi. That leaves the Invis rune there at the bottom. Alwayswannafly will scout it. So, yeah, Empire not going to be able to get nearly as much done in the early game. Not quite like Na'Vi with this line of Vengeful Spirit. They can be anywhere at any time, so you always have that mind factor on the side of Empire. You got to make sure you keep watch out. As long as those two supports are missing, you're going to play just a little bit more cautious. And that even makes them a little timid as far as making jump-in plays here. Like now, bottom lane, they're thinking about making go on Havos. Will second time be the charm? No, he's playing extra safe and staying back. But mid lane, Skewer all the way back onto Resolution. He does the self-astral, but can he make it away from this one? Vanskor is going to pop out the stun, I imagine. No, it's already been popped. Shockwave, he is so low. Oh, man, down to 100 life. He will bottle up and be...
Meanwhile, top lane, onto yoky. Gets up the wind run, though. Funnick already having picked up his Maskomatis, just says, screw it, man, I'm going in. The zombies, not enough to bring him down. He actually wants to take the tombstone, and it's only level 2. Quickly dealt with. The Maskomatis out so fast for him. Now, that's trouble. Now you can look towards Roshan pretty early if you're Na'Vi. They're going to get the level 6 soon on Havos. They'll need better map control before they go for that, but that said, the threat will be there over the next 5-6 minutes, and the kill potential will come out. Funnick jet shackle to a tree, not a power shot to follow it up. Can they get this last auto tech? They will. Now looking for more. Yoki's gonna run towards Goblak. He's already used his full combination, has stick charges, and the TP of Vanskor is what will ultimately take them back.
This is feeling like one of those games again, LD, where I'm going to have to make sure I keep eyes on the other side of the world. Like this bottom lane, they make a jump onto Havos once more. Will they have enough this time? It does not look like it. Again, Havos is going to have just enough to be able to walk away, and they cannot make the dive commitment. But this is going to be action from top to bottom, so I'm going to help you out in making sure we have our eyes peeled.
Yeah, we might need a couple extra sets of eyes. Fortunately, we've got chat for that if we miss anything. The illusion room comes up. Stupid caster. Good roaming by Funnick here. Picks up a kill in the Ancient Apparition, and for Na'Vi, this looks excellent. To be up in terms of net worth, basically even in terms of experience with a slight 500 lead. And you look at this Empire lineup, they do have an OD, one of the hardest late game carries, but just so much lockdown for him on the side of Na'Vi that I don't think you could count on just an OD to take this one over. So they'll need to make some plays with the Wind Ranger, maybe with the Ice Blast coming out. They drop a Tombstone out top lane. That'll be an easy takedown on Goblak. Do they look for the Havos kill? That's a tanky hero to dive into. They won't.
They also were going to TP in, but Na'Vi do cancel that one in case they did want to commit on the side of Empire. So they do pick up that kill, now 3-5, Na'Vi's still ahead, and well, we were expecting Empire to have more of a dominant early laning phase, but because of those early rotations already starting from Na'Vi, they feel like they're just going to be etching this one out. But hey, if they start out with a good lead, it's only going to continue to get better and better for them. So pressure will continue to mount up here for Empire, and for a lineup that already feels just a little different than their usual play style, I would be a bit nervous for if you're an Empire fan, but we'll have to see. This is a team, again, that's, of course, never say die, and they'll look to fight to the bitter end right now. Yoky does have his phase boots, and already with the Magic Wand complete in his stack, he's just going to hold his ground, but overall feels like...
They have Chrono! Onto Resolution. This is trouble now. Shockwave coming out. They'll TP in the Undying. He gets off the Astral. Wonder if Na'Vi want to stick around that next Shockwave. He skewers through, but he's a bit early for the actual skewer to hit, but still gets the auto attack off. AlohaDance now just going to... Unfortunately, not be able to do a whole lot here. Tries to chase after the Void, but a solitary zombie easily dealt with. Funnick's early movements are getting a lot of work done, and now Goblak will hex Yoky on the top lane. If they get this magic missile off, he's probably dead. One more auto tag would do it. Wave of Terror. One more. He salves. He will live. Still a lot, and he's gonna have to walk back to base, it looks like, after that. That's almost, not quite as good as a kill, but still pretty damn good again for Na'Vi.
That's a lot of time he has to spend walking all the way back. He does fortunately have a TP on hand, so he doesn't have to spend the extra bit of 100 gold, but yeah, regardless, he's going to be missing out on some extra CS XP, which they desperately need to already try and catch up. It's looking good for Na'Vi here at all fronts. The bottom lane, maybe they're not doing as good on the CS front, but Havost has not been caught out. He's been playing very reserved, very unlike the traditional Havost 4. He's been just kind of weighing it about till that mid-game period where he'll be able to contribute so much both globally and then, well, just looking to get in there and just go toe-to-toe. Like, Troll's probably one of the best on just berserking out and just going with the all-out right-click.
Yeah, this is a concern for Empire. You run Mag mid versus OD, and Mag's ahead in terms of net worth. Dendi not really slowed down at all. Already Arcane Boots and 800 gold, so the Blink's coming soon. Midas is the next choice for Resolution, it looks like. Could go for the treads now, but I think Empire realized they're going to need this double Midas. Silent probably building towards one. Could be a Maelstrom or Armlet, but expect this to be something different. As Goblak just saps Resolution mid! Kapow!
How you doing?
Brings him down. That was a little drive-by there. And the movements from Na'Vi have just been crisp as hell this game so far.
Yeah.
Normally it's Empire who just excel in this stage of the game, especially just based on the way they've been drafting, but they feel kind of impotent. And to be fair, a lot of their heroes are fairly passive in the landing stage, but it's definitely getting in their heads now.
Yeah. Na'Vi looking really sharp in this one, at least at the start. 7-3, a dominant lead. Resolution brought down again. He's 0-3 on this OD. Maybe a bit rusty as far as being able to play, but overall it feels like his support, his backstaff, it's just not working out well for this OD. They're moving around a lot, but not really getting a whole lot done, it feels. So AlohaDance just come back to this mid lane. It'll kind of keep an eye, watch out between him and being able to scout out the bottom rune, which is about to pop up here in about the next 5 seconds. And look who's across the river. Goblak is at the ready. He's at level 7 on this line. So he sees him, pops out the Impale. That's my rune now. Takes it. And now Silent steps in. Right fire blast. Has Goblak gone too far, though? Does pop the wand. Turn back. You're a frog now. And here comes the Walking Dead. Meanwhile, Funnick gets a kill, and Goblak does end up going down.
Yeah, Chronosphere was used top lane. He now picks up the Mithril Hammer. We'll see if Funnick wants to go straight into that Maelstrom. Could potentially be a BKB. But generally, you'd get your treads first, as they help you tank up quite a bit as well. So a nice and necessary kill there for Empire, but even then, they're still giving the Void more space. Leader in terms of net worth. Venge getting her levels now with the 1 Wave of Terror, 1 Vengeance Aura. Troll Ultimates online. Havos does have the Morbid Mask. Vlad's could be a likely choice here. Plus armor, not that amazing against Empire, but they have quite a few melee heroes who can, and the Void in particular, who can always benefit from some extra lifesteal and attack speed. For now, Havos going to sit on the casual belt of Giant Strength. Maybe turns this into a
They're making it go with Vanskor, right fire blast, and the new AA ultimate goes on. They do take him down. Here's Dendi, big RP onto 2, and make it the double impale. It looks like these two chuckleheads are going to be brought down. AA already goes down. Silence first life drop, but AlohaDance here, moving about, drops the Tombstone, and they turn their attention towards Goblak, and they will slay that Lion. He drops, and it makes it 6-9 here.
Really good time to fight. They know Chrono's on cooldown, and that was with an excellent RP Impale follow, but using the Wraith King ultimate early, and now looking for a kill here on Dendi. They get the Shackle follow-up, kill secured, and Empire, they need to keep this up. Keep on fighting around Navi's cooldowns, and just use the Wraith King ultimate to bait out those big initiations from Navi, live to tell the tale, and then turn the fight in round number 2. Now they have the Ancient Apparition ultimate online, and I'd like to see them continue to try to use that to set up kills around the map.
They get that tower there on the bottom lane, while Havos has plenty of space to work with here on the top. He pushes on forward and finds a respectable amount of CS. Navi overall, you know, they got taken down earlier in this tournament, losing to Power Rangers 1-2, and then they make quick work of Team Tinker 2-0 yesterday. Now looking to continue through this lower bracket to secure one of those, the last spot to make it to Shanghai, at least in the wild card position. And for Empire, who looks so strong at the start, taking down Virtus Pro Polar 2-1, and then falling short to Hellraisers. Would love to be able to stay strong here. So 2 of the biggest names in this qualifier. One of them got to go. The other one will have the opportunity to stay.
Navi moving into the Roche pit now, and Funnick with the Maelstrom already complete is going to go for the solo Roche. He's got a little help here from a friend, though, as Wave of Terror is thrown out. They have a Troll ult ready. Not using it just yet might be too much of a giveaway, and with that said, this looks to be a freebie for Navi. Tier 1 still up bottom, Tier 1 still up mid. It's a pretty risky Roshan, but given the strength of Void at just taking this down early, there's not a whole lot they can do. Troll will use his ult now, but doesn't seem like Empire had any inkling this is going on. They even have the Observer Ward here, so they may feel quite a bit safer than they should. But they see the Venge now moving around. The pinks come out. They could get suspicious, and Funnick very low down in the pit. One more auto attack will bring him down. Venge gonna walk in and try to take this. This is taking too long. Ice Blast comes through. It won't actually get a kill, but they're gonna get some eyeballs now on the big man. And Empire, want to steal it. Snipe? Oh, he's tempting.
AlohaDance, free Orb of Venom for me. Thank you so much. And he walks away with that one. But look at this. Behind enemy lines is Silent. Spotted out the wave. Funnick goes to high grab. Pops up the Chronosphere. Shockwave followed through. And it looks like Silent is going to drop because of that long cooldown. It looks like it's going to be quite a while before he has it.
Yeah, unfortunately for Silent, he hit level 11 in that fight bottom, but it was after the ultimate was popped. So the long level 1 cooldown ultimate, still 100 seconds and counting to go. It would have actually been up right about now. They'll give the Aegis to Funnick. Havos starting to tank up now. He goes back for the Sanj. Nice just general utility item. He doesn't need to be their hard right-click DPS, so they've got Funnick for that, and you already have Empower, so probably building towards the SOI. Could even be a Halberd if they're worried about the OD, but to be honest, given the way Resolution is farming, his auto attacks are not that scary.
Certainly not. And he did have to stop up for that Midas, of course, so he's got to make sure he can continue with this item progression so his OD can be a threat towards this mid-game, because they'll desperately need it. Those ultimates are going to start all coming together, and Navi's already ready to fight. They pop out the smoke now. They need a power shot, but that's under the cover of the shadow, so they'll wait and see if anyone's going to be baited out towards this mid lane. Then he has a Blink Dagger, and he is itching to use it, but unfortunately no one's going to be there right now on the other side, so they'll be waiting quite a while.
This is a little suspicious right now. You look at Radiant Vision, and the creeps are hitting the tower. Nobody's farming it. Now they show the Venge, but still a lot of heroes off the map. In the meantime, Funnick finds a solo kill top lane on Always Wanna Fly. Doesn't look like that smoke gank's gonna work, but Empire look for their own wraparound, bringing Silent and AlohaDance up the ramp. They swing towards Havos, blink forward, they're gonna stun him now. He's pretty tanky, but with a shackle follow-up, a couple of crits, they get the kill. RP's waiting though, Dendi's ready, he snags two, skewer him back right towards the tower, the Impale's there. That's a perfect two-hero Impale, easy finger kill. Now AlohaDance gonna fall as well. A 2-for-1, then you throw in the Wind Ranger, making a 3-for-1. Na'Vi, again, just coming up on top with these big ultimates, and the RP Impale is just a guaranteed 2-hero Impale, 3-hero Impale every time. Really nice synergy there.
Oh, mid lane, Goblak gonna get caught out as Silent jumps forward with that blink. They do end up taking him down. Silent now does have the reincarnation, but it's gonna be a return pick right there, getting the line. So I guess when it's all said and done, it's okay, it's pretty even though Na'Vi, because they were waiting about in that mid lane, I'm sure Empire were not expecting that. They made that smoke, they got that good pick, but with Na'Vi just around the corner, they end up losing more out of it. So on the top side of things, you see Funnick still waiting patiently. He does have that Maelstrom and Mask of Madness. He could possibly get a solo kill here if Resolution gets a little too overzealous in this lane, but nope, he will not. He pulls back and looks like he'll join his comrades on the mid-hand side.
You know, I gotta say, impressively, Empire is still very close in terms of net worth. Their CS, pretty good on the cores, but not quite as good as Na'Vi's, though Dage Apparition is slightly out-farming the dire supports, but it's the Midas gaming that's really keeping them in this. Triple Midas now acquired. We may not have the best late game lineup in terms of how our hero scale, Empire say, but we got 3 Midases, we'll have late game anyway, so that's the plan here.
Yeah, it's good that Undying will be super selfless, go for the wards and allow AA to get that Midas in. Here we go, Silent goes right onto Dendi. The AA ult's gonna fall through, but the swap is right there. He skewers to safety. Vanskor though, without a skewer, not gonna be so lucky. He ends up dropping. Silent's first life, still there as he runs out, but here comes Funnick. He has no mana for Chrono, however, so he has to step back and at least wait for a little bit of time before he can pull it on out. There's gonna be the Arcane Boots. Now he's got it, drops down the Chrono, catches 2 just on the cut while Havos gets caught out. They move on to Silent with a big RP combo. Funnick is able to clean out and take down.
Oh, the backtrack!
Oh my god, Funnick barely alive. Shockwave goes through. That's the Aegis now going to be popped in. 4-for-2 trade right here, and now they put on to Funnick. Going to be caught between 3. Cold Feet should proc. No, Time Walk should be able to save him, and now with rotations to come, Goblak catches with just the tip. Your AA, and he will go down. AlohaDance.
They have swap. They're gonna get it off too. AlohaDance gonna be next. That's 4, but the power shot this time not backtracked. As Yoky will get 1. He looks for a bit more here. They have the Impale. The Hex is back online. Yoky, Wind Run at the ready. He gets hexed in the midst of it and then blocked out. The Wind Run about to end. They stun him up. They're gonna bring him down here. It's 5 heroes dead as your OD just now respawning in the fountain. Oh my goodness. What a beatdown by Na'Vi.
That was a slaughter. From both fronts, just absolute bloodshed right there. So, with that, Na'Vi gets a step back with their heads held high. Goblak goes and gets his gets his own bit of farm time now, and we'll see the items continue to progress. It looks like Dendi wants to build forward, get that 4-staff, a little bit of extra mobility certainly helps, and for Havos, who's already got his Sage, looking to put together that Sage and Yasha. They're looking pretty strong. Top of net worth, though, still does belong to Silent in his Wraith King.
Even though it looked like Na'Vi were having this amazing start, just imagine, this game was actually very tenuous. The Roche Pit, let's say the Void sticks around there, gets hit by Ice Blast, he dies, then they don't get the easy kill on the Wraith King. Wraith King's able to stick around longer. They're fighting 5v4 with Roshan at a 3rd HP, and with the Aegis, if Empire ended up claiming it or at least getting a few kills on Na'Vi in exchange for forfeiting the Aegis, that fight at the pit, or in the mid lane after the pit fight, would have been very different, so... Oh, yeah. Unfortunately for Empire, things just continuing to slightly favor Na'Vi here, and you know there's the ticking time bomb. The big thing is going to be when they start getting BKBs out. Nothing on Troll yet, nothing on Funnick, but he builds towards it. When they get BKBs, Empire have the Astral Imprisonment to try and keep heroes alive inside of Chrono, and Wind Run, and that's really about it. Wind Run can be dealt with by the Hex and the evasion quickly removed. Also could just be fingered by Goblak, who now has the level 2 finger, and a Blink Dagger online. There's not great solutions for BKBs. They don't have a Vengeful Spirit swap to easily and guaranteed keep heroes alive through the Chrono AoE combo, and Na'Vi can just charge in. So that's where Empire will have to ambush them, catch them out, isolate them 4v2, 3v1, things like that, and It's just going to become one of those games where Empire have to work a lot harder to outplay Na'Vi.
Certainly so. You see the Maelstrom near complete here for your Wraith move up mid lane. Then he's going to go ahead and skew her on back while top. AA, because that ult lands, it looks like Yoky might put some punishment on the Funnick, but not going to follow through with anything else on top of that. But Funnick says, I'm going to go ahead and follow through with something of my own. Goes right on to Yoky. Makes quick and easy work with him. Nice one-man takedown right there. The solo pick for Funnick.
Empire just not that, it's not that easy for them to punish the ult cooldowns. Like, they don't push particularly hard, right? OD's terrible at pushing. Undying is an okay hero to supplement the push, but doesn't kill buildings quickly. The one hero who can is Windranger. And so when the ults are down, you'd like to either go for a big fight or go for a tower. Do something, because obviously it's a lot easier to win fights without Chrono to worry about. But they just don't have the best lineup for it. They might get this kill in Funnick top lane. Ice Blast coming in, OD ult deployed. Unfortunately, didn't actually take the ult damage there, it looked like. And, well, if he did, it wasn't enough to bring him down.
Yeah, AA ult, though it is level 2, not going to be enough to shatter the Faceless One. Funnick simply walks away and will be fine. So Empire do come up short on any sort of attempt on taking down the pesky offlaner. And Funnick is just grossly farmed on this Faceless Void, where being in the offlane position, he's found fantastic grabs, and we'll hold that thought here. It looks like Silent here, covert ops, hiding under this
living up to his name right now.
Trying to stay in the shadow to see if he can get anyone out there, tiptoeing about. Maybe thinking about making it go mid lane onto Havost here. But Vanskor's right behind it. He could swap him out if he wants to, and whoop, there it is. Havost now also forced out to safety. Vanskor's like, I will gladly hand over my life for you, Havost. Saves him.
Nice pick up there. They get the Venge. It's a support, so they'd like to find more than just that kill. Good defensive swaps. That's been a big story of this game, is just the selfless play of Vanskor. He swapped out Dendi earlier mid, now he swapped out Havost to safety. Keeping his cores alive, the prime juicy kills that Empire would like to get quite a few times is Silent will TP bottom by accident. Immediately cancel that one. Just go back to farming now. So I guess at this point, Empire, they have the blink on Windranger, they have the Wraith King blink. They're gonna go for the Ags on the Ancient Apparition, and should they manage to claim that, then they can start picking off some of these Na'Vi heroes. At least the supports or the heroes that haven't completed BKBs. You go in with the Blink Shackle, followed up with a Power Shot, or a Blink Stun and a couple right clicks from the Wraith King. That's a good killing combo around the map.
Yeah, that is the nice thing when you have an AA and they happen to pick up a Faceless Void, is it's not going to be too hard to find your target or where they're going to be if you want to throw out the Ice Blast. So that's going to be something easy to set up, especially if we got an Ags on top of it. Any sort of heal, any sort of life leech is just going to be null and void at that point. So they do have that going for them, but is it going to be enough? That's the lingering question. We'll find out. And a lot of people out there who have hats on the line, they want to know as well. And we didn't get to mention it, but coming into this one, Empire were a 70% favorite over Na'Vi, who was only 30. Unexpected. If that was about, a couple of months ago time, I think it would have been dramatically the other way.
Yeah, and I think very rightfully so, as Empire have just looked far stronger than Na'Vi for a while now. But with that said, this is a good time to get hot, Dakota. You're coming down the stretch. So one other thing I do want to mention, double Blink Daggers out for Empire. They're good offensively, but they're also nice against Void and to some extent against Magnus. Well, Shackle Shot coming in mid lane onto Havost. He's in a bit of trouble here. Swapped out again, Vanskor in position, and he gets the tower less. Actually, the catapult getting it, but tries to go for it. Vanskor, the big plays to keep them safe. In the meantime, Goblak goes in with the finger, kills off your Ancient Apparition, who's trying to be cheeky, and now Funnick time walking into the Ancients. Roshan actually online now, and I think Empire know it. This is towards the max Rosh respawn. I think it was 1 or 2 minutes short. Now BKB's out for Funnick. Silent, gonna try to fight through this. He does have his ult. It's a level 3 ult, so it's not even really a big deal if he kills him. He's not getting the 2 kills here, and with the Void BKB revealed and now down, that's a win for Empire.
It is. Na'Vi did get a lot in that mid lane, though, as Havost continued to push forward. Another great save from Vanskor, and I know Empire probably were all busy trying to look for the engagement mid. They didn't have an opportunity to pop the glyph and try to save the tower, or at least go for a snag deny and take that away from Na'Vi, so they do pick that one up. They end up trading a support for a support, but because right there you see Silent blinking forward onto Funnick, he's happy to kind of lightly tussle, and if it forces out a BKB from Funnick, then you know what? It's only at the expense of one simple Blink Dagger. So Empire got to be happy with that one. They step back, and it looks like it's going to be a separation of farm from both sides for now.
Empire backing off a bit. They lob out an Ice Blast past the Roche pit, and Na'Vi not wanting to go for this one yet. They want to take the Roche when it's so more of a safe opportunity. Funnick thinking about the time walk in. Top lane, he could go for a play here on yoky. He does. Chrono's there. No wind run popped in time. That's an easy kill.
Yeah.
And yoky will fall.
Fortunately, just easy setup right there. Not much you can do. It's just kind of, you know, when you're served in a restaurant in the classic cartoon style, and you got that delicious meal under the big steel dish, you just reveal it, and it's like a sweet rotisserie chicken. That's just what Funnick does with that big old bubble, and serves himself. Now has to step back here as Empire do rotate through. He does not have too much mana to work with on getting away, so he plays it a bit safe. Silent is nearby in the neighborhood, continuing to farm it up on his Wraith King. He has the Mjolnir, and probably wanted to look to pick up a bit more after that. Where do you go from here, though? You're going to be the core Wraith King for your team on Empire to try to bring this one back. You got to be able to withstand the huge team fight. I mean, you should be able to with that second life, but you have to make sure that when you come back with that second life, you're going to be able to get as much done as possible, with the fact that you might be losing a couple of teammates during the big, hectic moments.
It's not oh, Ice Blast coming into the Roche pit. Let's see if they try to follow this up. It clips through 3, but too late. Roche going the way of Na'Vi. It's not the best BKB game. You're up against instant hacks as well as a lot of right click, and on top of that, Chronosphere and RP. So I don't think it's a BKB game for the Wraith King. Armlet's a pretty cost-effective damage item, but it's a bit late for that as well. I think Assault Caress is on your list right now. Heart's a possibility. You could go for Evasion. Void will most likely get an MKB as his 5th or 6th item anyway, so I don't know if that's the choice. Halberd is a possibility. But yeah, I think one of those items, something that is not reliant on Magic Immunity.
Vos catches out AlohaDance, slows him down, and here comes Funnick, pops the BKB for safety measures, and is able to snag that kill. Now Funnick on a killing spree with a quick work of the Undying, who just has nothing to be able to get away. So unfortunately, it's been a bit of a rough game right now for AlohaDance. He is 3-3, but sometimes he just doesn't have a whole lot to offer. Now they're making it go on to Silent here. A nice force forward allows them to get the quick sheep. Now coming the AA ultimate. Funnick just drops the ultimate. They do catch a nice Ice Blast, but
he's got no mana!
Silent has no mana, and he is done for. Even Goblak.
What a play by Goblak. Oh my goodness, that was so nice. Going straight for the mana drain, doesn't bother with the finger until the very end. Super heads-up play, and that's going to be an issue for the Wraith King. You know what? Maybe he does need Magic Immunity just to deal with that mana drain.
That was big. Now
that's super obnoxious.
It's just absolutely out of control. So with that, it can make for always. That's something we're probably going to see more of this game. Just get the simple Chrono setup right there. Goblak's in a good position, takes away all that mana. Wraith King, his big potential that we thought was going to be the big counter to Na'Vi and having that second life is not there anymore. So, loving that kind of grab.
Yeah, Funnick now going to start farming the enemy Ancients up. Chronosphere cooling down for 50 seconds. Can't really do too much during this time, but that's a concern.
He's going to see yoky right here. Does not have Chrono, but instead yoky will just briefly.
He knows AlohaDance is in the neighborhood.
Oh god, I can't get away. He is the Walking Dead. He is just trying to slowly walk away from this one, even getting help with the Ice Vortex, and that will be enough. Funnick can't quite follow through. Very low on mana, but hey, it's enough space for Na'Vi to kind of get their own thing done elsewhere. It's Empire once again constantly just trying to run away from Na'Vi. It's very apparent that they're the bullies this game, and Empire are just kind of hoping that they can wait this one out so they can itemize a bit better and be ready to go into a big skirmish.
You know, we often talk about, like, answers to Faceless Void and counters to Chrono, but the truth is, you might think you have heroes that deal well with Chrono, and on paper, I think Empire are decent. A Shackle Shot, Wind Run, Astral Imprisonment, Wraith King ult, but it's never that easy. It's just the nature of the hero. You play against this ability, and sooner or later, it's going to bite you. As yoky is scurrying through the woods, but he's walking right into trouble. RP finds him, and he'll get auto-attack down. Vos starting to really amp up as a right-clicker, and I want to mention, there's now a Vlad's out on the Venge, along with Max Vengeansara. Everybody on Na'Vi is going to be hitting extremely hard, and of course, Empower, which is now max rank as well.
Yeah, the right click's going to be big. The life leech is going to be huge. AA, he's got his work cut out for him to make sure he lands those Ice Blasts, so those life leeches are not going to be too effective for the sustained power of Na'Vi, but that's a tall order. Na'Vi have found great positioning, like here. You know, with stuff like this, top lane, Vanskor just being that safety net. If they make a jump on the Havos, he'll always be right there for the swap, and he's happy to sacrifice his own life. So he sees the AA will come out. He's got to have his finger ready on this swap. They might make it go, and well, there it is. Vanskor, there's the swap, and he's going to be A-okay. Actually, Havos is feeling a bit Havos right now. He just kind of quickly takes down Silent his first life, but he may have gone in too far, and it looks like he will lose his Aegis life. Not too shabby right here.
Still waiting. Goblak.
Oh, Silent moves back behind, going on to Vanskor. Vanskor's gonna live for now. Double sets a stun and the finger, and Silent does end up dropping. Navi still coming out on top. Havos pops his BKB, rushes forward, and it looks like Empire are gonna have to sound the retreat horn and walk on away.
Yeah, Phonic is just straight chilling in the bottom lane right now. It's he did use Chronosphere. Did we catch that latest use? I don't think so.
No.
Not sure what he used it on, but that's 4v5, and they still kill off the Wraith Kid and end up okay. They do lose the Aegis there, but tower going down as well. Considering the Aegis was basically up anyway, a win for Navi once more. And now I have Scotty complete on Havos. He is getting very beefy. 18 armor, 2600 HP. It gets to the point where you focus him, and unless the OD is able to wail away at him, you're just not killing him. And OD's running for his life, dude. He's running from the Chronosphere. He's got to worry about the Blink X, RP. You just can't really focus on anything. Phonic will easily bring down your Undying once more. Navi just feasting on Empire in game number 1, making it look easy.
Yeah.
Where has this Navi been? Oh my goodness. Haven't seen them actually just dominate a tier 1 team in a while.
Navi look damn good. Empire, at the same time, you could say this is a bit of a different draft than they usually, in a different play style than they've usually been rolling with. But yeah, it looks like Navi's been eating their meat today. They are on point for this one. Phonic is grossly farmed side by side with Havos. He's been the one finding most of the kills. He's 13-3, and he's about to make it possibly 14. He will. He jumps in, makes easy work. Ice cubes for my whiskey, he says. Now he goes right into enemy territory, pops his BKB, and the Chrono and Resolution should also drop. It is just easy work for Navi. Absolutely no mercy whatsoever for Empire.
This is looking to be the end. No buyback on OD, no buyback on HF Rishon, no way to stop this push. Navi with the troll can take two lanes of Rex here. Top and mid both exposed. They'll go for the mid. They'll clean it out quickly. Shackle will try and slow this one down, buying them time, but can't catch everyone with the Shackle shot. They'll lose the mid racks. Raged about to fall. Melee already collapsed. And they can surge into this top lane if they want. If they want to play it super safe, they can just take the 1-Rex. But Phonic says, nah, man, we got this. Let's go for a little bit more on top Rex. They'll be next. And Empire just out of options at this point. 2 racks down against the troll. And the push is coming soon enough for that third lane.
I can't help but feel like maybe at this point, as AlohaDance is going to be just absolutely slaughtered right there. Someone get the frenzy files underway. Now Silent too. They got to be thinking about game number 2 at this point because they've already lost everyone. Navi don't even need to think about stepping outside the base. They just put from one target to the other, and they've had enough. Please, let's just go to game number 2.
Empire, one of the favorites coming into this qualifier, on the cusp of getting bounced out by Navi. They have a shot in game 2, but they now must turn it around and win 2 in a row, or they'll be going home. They will not go to China. They will not even have a shot as a wildcard team if they can't put it together quick, fast, and in a hurry. Dakota, I did not expect Navi to look that dominant, I have to say.
They looked very dominant, but at the same time, yeah, Empire, I don't know, like the Wind Ranger didn't really amount to a whole lot. OD didn't really amount to a whole lot. These heroes that they thought, they're like, we have the answer. We are going to pull out the late trump card of getting like an OD. We know how to take care of your fancy Chrono. No, that was not the case.